but I know that there are completely different things that you have to figure out and do in order to grow things bigger, like definitely like your 100 million, all that type of stuff. Like that would require completely different brand new skill sets than anything that I have right now. Um, and I thought about that and I thought about how old our kids were and everything. And I just almost overnight one night just thought, wait a minute, let's say that I did go ahead and grow this to be $100 million company, but let's say that it took me 5 more years to do it. How old are my kids going to be then? How much time and attention will I have had to have put into it in order to do that, to then have a big exit, that type of thing? And I thought, I don't want that. Like my kids will be, one of them will be moved out, the other ones will
Mhm.
be pretty darn close, and then I'll have a big pile of money, and then my kids will be like, "Yeah, we remember we used to hang out with you before you went in all in on that." And so it did the exact op. Well, it did the exact opposite in terms of dreaming bigger for business. It did exactly what you said in terms of dreaming bigger for a relationship with my family. So,
Yeah.
um, the second that I thought of that, I messaged a guy back who had been asking me for a couple years already to sell. And I got back in touch with him and I said, yeah, if we did, if I did sell, how long would you need me? Because it's not uncommon that you have to stay around at least a year, possibly
Mhm.
two for something like this, because I invented the manufacturing process. Like I personally made over 500,000 deodorant sticks. Anyway, um, I was thinking like, okay, I don't think I want to do this anymore because of those reasons. And so, yeah, anyway, I asked the guy and he comes back to me like 5 seconds, says, I don't think we need you more than 30 days. That text pops up and I remember the ding happens and I'm like, okay, all right. Hey, let's have another conversation about this. What would the next step look like? And sure enough, it was very close to being exactly like that. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. And I can't tell you, Sean, how much I appreciate hearing that because that's kind of at the core principle of my motivation is I look at it as remember why I started this whole thing to begin with. And it was never about tens of millions of
Mhm.
dollars. It was about the time with my family
Yep.
and being able to see the kids grow up. And I do the same thing. I say no to a lot more than I say yes to because of why I started. So that's really cool.
That's awesome.
And like I said earlier, I'm glad I started. So I encourage anyone to, especially when so much friction is removed and the hard beginning part is already handled for you with Funnel Freedom. It really
Yeah,
gets you to the fun part, or at least the interesting part really quickly, because I've built plenty
absolutely.
of funnels, hundreds of funnels and thousands of emails. And I do it. I've gotten good at it, but it's not the fun part. The fun part
Yeah,
is the marketing of it all. And marketing
absolutely.
is 20% of the business, but guess what? It drives 100% of the sales and you get to keep 40% of it without doing all the other stuff. So
Exactly.
that's a really cool opportunity for folks.
That's awesome.
Well, I appreciate your time, Sean. I appreciate your insight in as we dove into what Funnel Freedom was all about. Because while I've talked to Jonathan about it, it
Yeah,
is cool to hear more about the inner workings and specifics. So it really helps me get a better understanding of what y'all are doing over there. And I think it's great. And I wish you all the success in the world and continued growth. To the 1,000 and then the 2,000 active monthly users and stuff like that. That I'm sure you'll see.